I think there's four parts of sound design work. It's like dialogues, backgrounds, sound effects, and follies. That's our job as sound designer or sound wherever. So that's where we start working. I mean, that's our job. I mean, my job is to make the audience feel like they're there.
Let's begin with the first question straight away, Mikhail. When Money Heist was offered to you, and when you started working on it, what was the challenge in terms of sound before you? What kind of sound did you want to create?
Well, actually, when it first came to me, it was I think 5 years ago. I think
Mhm.
so. So it was kind of. I mean, it was a series for a national TV here. It was gonna call here Antena Tres. So I mean, it wasn't a big series. I mean, we've been like working in Vis a Vis. It was Lock Up in English, which it was kind of similar kind of series. I mean, it had the same action. It was kind of the same actors too. So
Mhm.
when I first hear about this, it was like, okay, it was another one. But when I first see the first episode, it was like, wow, wow, wow. Let's hold on. I mean, this kind of it's not the same. I mean,
Mhm.
it's kind of this is gonna go forward. I mean, everything that we have done. I mean, until they. So, I mean, I knew that it was a really action movie. I mean, well, series. So I just thought that it was like we had to do like an American action movie. I mean, just
Mhm.
everything had to sound very big. Everything had to be big. I mean, and I think we tried and we did. So, and after that, everything go bigger and bigger and bigger. Netflix bought it. I mean, so up until nowadays.
So when you started shooting it, it begins in diverse locations. The sound challenges everywhere were different. And when you came back to the studio by the time you reached the studio to mix it, you must have had several tracks in your hand. And mixing those tracks must have been quite a challenge. Let's begin with the sound
Yes.
recording part first. You know, the sound recording
Yeah.
part
Okay.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The sound recording. It's. I mean, I'm not in the sound recording team. I mean, I'm doing the sound design and the recording mixer. I mean, and I kind of. I mean, but I mean, well, from the location sound team. I mean, they did a really great job. Really great job.
Mhm.
But it's a kind of noisy. It's a noisy set. I mean, when
Mhm.
in the location everything is so noisy, so we had like a big work. I mean, cleaning everything up. I mean, the di- the dialogues were kind of great, but you have to work them a lot because I mean, you have some sequences that are so noisy, but their footsteps everywhere. They're crying while they're running. They're speaking about their shooting gunfights. There's a lot of noise in this area. I mean, that's the main thing. But I think what we did was to try to find the middle way between all the noise and of course the dialogues that the audience has to understand them so clearly. I mean, I think
So
that's
the kind of sounds that you have used in the final track were these sync sounds, or did you dub?
we did that kind
Mhm.
of some of them, but no, it's mostly the location sound. Yeah.
Mostly the location sound, and
Yes. Yes.
because you had so many diverse locations. You are on the street, you are in the forest, you are
I
inside
know.
the mint, where in the basement. And
Yes.
how. Yeah.
Of course I know.
Yeah. So mixing these diverse sounds and yet creating a desirable impact has its own challenges. You know, How could you reconcile these sounds? How did you have to create some sounds, add some sounds to the track?
Yes, of course. I mean, well, I always say that sound design work is about creating a new world. I mean, a
Hmm.
parallel world, but I mean, we always try to save everything about the location sound, everything. I mean, that's our main thing when we're working on dialogues. Try to save everything as hard as we can. I mean, that's our main thing. But after that, we have to work on a big sound for everybody understands everything. So I think that's of course we create everything. I mean, we kind of have beds. Like room tones that they come from the location sound. We have PFX that we call them. It's like footsteps, many actions that actors or whatever do.
Hmm.
And after that, we create everything. I mean, everything is done in the studio. Everything is about library, Foley's, sound effects edition.
And then there was music. There was
And there's this
lip
music,
sync
of course.
songs. There were
Yes,
also
I
songs.
mean, there are a lot of songs, there are a lot of scores. I mean, it's,
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
when we talk about the sound design of a web series, at the initial level, at the scripting level, how what is your approach? What do you advise the director? How should you go about it? Uh, for first of all, the recording of the sound. Then there is separate recording of the music, the songs, and then there's a background score, and then of course you have your own sounds that you have created in the studio. So the overall sound design, uh, to make it more peppy, to make it more like Hollywood, was there any precaution that you took to create the sound design of the series?
well, I mean, wait a little bit for it back up. I mean, the music, all the music, they are composed by two musicians, so
Hmm.
we don't have nothing to do with it. I mean, as a
Hmm.
sound designer, we have to work. I think there's four parts of sound design work. It's like dialogues, backgrounds, sound effects, and foley's. That's our job as sound designer or sound whatever. So that's where we start working. I mean, that's our job. I mean, my job is to make the audience feel like they're there. I mean, that's so. How do we create sounds? I think that was another question, right? I mean, there's pro- I think it was third season that we record all footsteps like in the same location. I mean, we went with our recorders, our microphones, so we asked to art department for their clothes, whatever. The booths, I remember. I mean, all the booths that they were recorded for us. I mean, we had like close booths, far away booths, and sound effects. I mean, of course, it's they from libraries we create them sometimes. It depends. I mean, it's been 5 seasons, so I mean, there's a lot of things going on. They were just along there for the 5 seasons.